I'm your host, Elisha Rochelle, and I am a current student here at CCSF in the BEMA department, which is the Broadcasting Electronic Media's Arts department, but video production is what I'm into, and thank you for joining us. So now would be a great time for you to invite others to join us live, and you can find us on YouTube at CCSF Broadcasts under IDTV, and that's CCSF Broadcasts under IDTV. So today, we're excited, we're streaming live, we're here from the CCSF Chinatown North Beach Center, where our fashion department lives, and in a few moments, we'll be discussing the topic of fashion and media in the age of AI and sustainability with our panelists. So before we introduce them, we'd love to share a brief overview of some of the fashion classes offered here in our very own CCSF Chinatown North Beach campus.
I'm Paul Gallo, and I've been in the fashion department for 21 years, and I teach Intro to Sewing.
I'm actually taking this class. I'm just trying to expand my abilities and my skill set. This is really just starting off.
So the students know hand sewing techniques by the time they're done with Intro, how to make a bobbin on a machine, how to sew seams, and we learn many different kinds of hand stitching and machine stitching.
I like, the teacher, the way he takes class. I really enjoy, and I love my classmates too. And
when you're dealing with creative students, they all learn in a different way. You have to make room for them to feel safe enough to express themselves and to be able to learn at their pace.
I would recommend this class to any creative who's looking for an outlet or any creative who wants to go into the fashion industry.
It's really cool here because this is one of the only places where you can come in and interact with professionals in the industry and take a class.
My name is Judy Jackson. This is my pattern grading course, and it is usually offered about once a year in the spring, as we're teaching it right now. It can vary a little bit, but that's when we usually teach it, yes.
One of the things that's definitely super important is making sure that you have a good size range. You can't just make a garment bigger, you have to understand how it fits to a human. So this class is really based around understanding how a garment grows with a human body, which is definitely super helpful for me.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's a lot of tracing and math, so it can be difficult but challenging in a good way.
My name is Judy Jackson. Today's class was fashion history, an overview of dress from the early origins of man all the way through the thread to current fashion. It's a wonderful class that really prepares students to work in this industry in many different ways and give them a wonderful background of where we came from. I want to welcome any of our fashion students, even beginning fashion students, to our fashion history class, and I look forward to meeting you someday.
My name is Michael Nidek. I really just wanted to expand on my visual dictionary in fashion. I find it really fascinating and just a really great way to build on my career.
Hi, I'm Anne, and I really love old fashion. I'm learning a lot. If you were like me, maybe you're not talented enough, follow your passion in fashion. Just come, join us. It's a fun environment, and you'll learn a lot, and it's really an easy process to get enrolled, have the classes you need.
I am Paul Gallo. I've been in the fashion department since 2003. I also teach fashion illustration and the Intro to Sewing class. This course is called Garment Fitting Techniques, and in this we explore where people get to learn how garments fit. They learn about different body types. They drape on each other. and then they make patterns of the things that they've draped. They're now making jackets out of those patterns. They're also learning a little bit about sustainability, plus we're having them actually sew something that is made up of old clothing.
My name is Famisha, and I'm taking garment fitting techniques. I've been doing upcycling. I think it's more of a sustainable way to use fabric from old clothing to regenerate it.
City College is one of the only places where you can come and take one class. When you put someone creative in that environment, something will happen.
My name is Kamal Regbotra, and I'm teaching Fashion 15B, Apparel Construction 2. So they're making 3 projects. One is a lined skirt, another one is a plaid shirt, and a pair of jeans.
Apparel Construction 2 helps to kind of facilitate my goal of creating a gender-neutral clothing line. And so one of the things that's standing out for me is changing the measurements of a pattern to fit my body. And so I'm learning how to actually adjust the pattern pieces so a shirt fits me a little bit better.
I really think all the professors I've worked with really care about what they're teaching. Each has a different perspective, and I've really gleaned from each instructor something that I can use in my personal and professional fashion work.
All those classes can be taken right here at CCSF Chinatown North Beach campus. So please register, and it's so easy. You can find us right online, and let's get on to our topic today. So our topic today is in the age of fashion and media, of AI and sustainability. So let's turn to our panel. Please introduce yourself and tell us your title.
My name is Sue Yeru. I am the owner of Style Rehab, based here in San Francisco. I'm an image consultant or a stylist. For those of you that associate with style, I work one-on-one with folks on their personal presentation.
Lovely. Please.
Hi everyone, I'm Jason Gui. I'm the founder of View. So we build smart glasses. They're glasses that look just like regular frames, but with technology built in. So I'm actually wearing one right now. These are my prescription glasses, and we have features built into the legs where you can listen to music, make phone calls, track fitness activity levels, talk to AI voice assistants like ChatGPT. We previously raised a $2 million Kickstarter campaign, and we're now one of the top-selling smart glasses on the market.
Amazing. Thank you. Please.
Hi, my name is Miko Tolliver. I am a multimedia artist, so I work mostly in film and in music. I started as a guitar player, singer-songwriter. I've put out a couple albums. I did that under my own independent label. You can always check those out wherever you get your music. And I also do occasionally some music for indie film, doing some small little soundtracks and stuff like that. I am also I have my own production company. It's another small thing too. I've been working on a web series that I've been developing. I started actually as a class project, so that's kind of grown each time. That's been really, really great. And I also am the interim programming coordinator at KPFA Radio in Berkeley. That's 94.1 FM. I do a lot of things there where I actually coordinate the programs and the programmers, but also the social media department. I was able to get us a grant for a year to get us interns. It was about like a $200,000 $200,000 grant to get us an interns that we can train interns with disabilities for jobs in multimedia. I work on live sets. I also do screenwriting. I'm studying at a program down at UCLA right now. And I work out of music studios, and so just doing the whole shebang.
Yes, you are. Wow, that is so amazing. Thank you all for sharing what you do, who you are, and gave us a little bit of background about what you're doing. And so we just want to ask the question, how is AI currently being utilized in the fashion and media production industries based on your experience and knowledge. Can we start with you?
Sure. We all know the buzz AI, and in retail, where we'll see a lot of AI is behind the scenes, tracking where you're shopping, what your shopping choices are, and it's collecting all of that data, analyzing it, and helping you to continue to shop based on what your data looks like and what you are drawn to and what inspires you. I think it's a really helpful tool in that respect, so that I'm not wasting time seeing garments or items that are not in my wheelhouse or that I'm not inspired by or drawn to. And then it helps cut down and helps me to focus on what it is that I really need to add into my collection. And that's just one area that we're seeing AI. I also come from a production background, and AI has really also been a very big part of the production line and automation, right? So it reduces the manpower that was initially utilized for creating repetition and actions in production, and now AI can handle all of that production line. Those are, again, are just a couple of variables for AI and where we're seeing it. Anytime you look at your phone, it's collecting your data. Anytime you're talking, your phone is listening, collecting data, and again, tapping into what it is that you need, what can it share with you. And I just want to make one important thing known for folks if you're not thinking about this. But AI really is driven by what we feed it, the information that we feed it to learn and know. So when you are tapping in and guiding AI through ChatGPT, do be mindful of what information you are feeding to it, because it is learning from us, and it's really important for ethics too, for it to learn ethically good behaviors and things that we share into it. So I just wanted to give that little nugget.
Thank you. That was a very important nugget that we need to consider. Thank you. We are teaching it.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Would you mind sharing, let me re-ask, how is AI currently being utilized in the fashion and media production industries?
Yeah, so we're kind of a bridge between both fashion and tech. I think like with, you know, what we're seeing is like AI is really helping out in the design aspects. So for example, when we're building different designs, choosing what kind of styles people want to wear and use, we do that. One example that I saw that I had a really lasting impression on was there was this team of engineers who were trying to redesign an airplane using AI. And they started giving a block to the AI and saying like, you know, here's a block of, you know, like a wood or something, and make this fly. And what AI would do was to really generatively iterate on this block and, you know, add wings, shave off a bit here and there, and try to see how do you make a block fly, right? And after they went through like, you know, dozens or hundreds or thousands of iterations, the AI came up with a plane that looked unlike anything we'd seen before. Like it didn't look like any of these Boeing or Airbus planes. The plane that AI generated looked more like an insect because it was sort of going from a biological perspective of how do I make something evolve into something that flies. And I think this, like you can look up this example about like AI creating a plane. And I think it's really inspiring because it shows that AI can really think out of the box. And if you ask the person to design a plane, they would think of, okay, the Wright brothers did it 100 years ago, it should have 2 wings and it should look like this. But if you use AI to do it, it might come up with something that's completely different. And I think that's the really exciting part about AI, is really thinking out of the box to create answers. And that's how we use it with design. The other part with using AI is we use it for media production when we need to create different ads and commercials, and it really saves a lot of time. Because previously we'd have to create these designs, we'd make mock-ups, and then we find models, we take product shots, then we edit the videos. But now you can do all that with AI. Basically, there's a lot of tools out there where you can do a 3D scan of the product. In our case, it's glasses. You scan the product, and then you have a 3D model, and then you can use that model to generate new ads of someone wearing the glasses when they're biking, when they're working, when they're driving. And it really saves a lot of time for us to create these ads and short films and just put them on TikTok and other platforms. So I think AI is really a big cost saver and time saver in terms of media production.
Wow, I truly understand those aspects that you just shared. I have other questions, but I will save them.
Sure.
Okay, can we hear from you, Miko? Again, how is AI currently being utilized in the fashion and media production industry?
Ooh, okay. Think of all the different ways that I use AI and how I've seen AI. First of all, I love AI. I think it's dope. I think it's great. I've always been someone to embrace new technology. I have to say that because I do work at a radio station. It's listener supported. It's very progressive. It's very grassroots. So it can be resistant to AI because I guess people worry about it, taking away jobs or stealing or something like that. I don't feel that way. I feel like let's embrace it and find how we can take this tool and use it for good. And I think we totally can. I know just being the programming coordinator at my station, again, we're nonprofit, so we are always running on fumes when it comes to to money and hiring people. I use them to help me generate emails, letters, and stuff that I can use to send out to staff to really just better our communication around the station. That's really, really helped me a lot because I don't, our station, we don't have the money for an assistant. So I really gotta figure out like how can I really make the most of my time here. That's been really great. That's really upped our communication, announcements, and people being, oh, this is what's going on. It helps me make those emails and those letters quicker. And so I really do appreciate that. Other ways that I use AI, I do some grant writing, and I have used it to help me get the ball rolling on some of my answers for grants. Because they'll ask the question like, give us a, 2,000 word answer to this, and you're just like, oh yikes, I don't know, And I've had different processes. Usually when I'm filling out grants, I do it so much I save my answers because those questions can start to be kind of the same. You have to change things a while. But sometimes you really are just like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. And I will take the question and put it in something like ChatGPT and be like, help me get with this. Now, I would never recommend to just accept that answer. You always want to go back and look at it and edit it and change it. But it can help you create an outline. I've used it at the station too to create like simple like one-page scripts or something that I can do for a promo so that I can start recording that quicker, using my time better. That's one way. Another way is, especially doing social media at the station, I do use I guess Midjourney to generate a lot of images and stuff for the social media accounts. That really helps a lot because also at the station we have maybe like 80 or 90 hosts and producers, and majority of them are volunteers, so they have only so much time that they can contribute just to their show. And there have been times that I have had to have the task of filling in a show and substituting for someone, and that will humble you. That will humble you if you have to do just 1 hour and you to think, wow, somebody does this every week. Every week. I'm not at that level yet. So then to ask them, also, could you also send us some content? Could you also make us some graphics? Could you also do this? And they're like, they don't have the bandwidth for it. So we use that, just like you were saying, to be conscious of like what we're putting into ChatGPT and AI and things like Midjourney and Discord and stuff. Like, I agree with that because I have put in things in there, and I feel like it'll feed me back an image where I go, I feel like there could be some more diversity in this algorithm here. But we're starting small. We're doing our best. We can just work with it. Another way that I've seen though AI, which is actually how I kind of got turned on to using things like Midjourney and stuff. There's a studio I work with down in LA, a music studio, and it's a DJ. He produces a whole bunch of artists, and he has the same problem where he's got a ton of artists. He needs to put out content constantly, but he's like, it's already hard enough to get a singer-songwriter, a singer, a performer in the studio, and record it and get that just to say, okay, could you make the album cover? Could you do this? So actually, a lot of times, I've gotten a lot of advice from him to go, and he creates a lot of his album covers, and he can do them really quick. Like, I want to, I don't know, something overlooking the beach, the hills of Hollywood, and putting a lowrider car out in front, and it'll come up with it. It looks great. He takes it, puts it together, uses it for the album, and he's even told me to take the image idea that I kind of want to create in Midjourney and take it and create put that image in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will create the prompt that I can put in Midjourney and get something better. So you can work together with it. But
wow.
Yeah, right? You say wow to that. So
Wow,
when people say,
yeah.
I don't like AI, I'm afraid of it, it's horrible. I'm like, no, it's great if you're an artist, if you're a freelancer, if you're balling on a budget, and you're just like, how are we gonna do this? I think you can really embrace those things and expand your own career and help other people get more things out there.
I love it. I mean, you really hit on a lot of things. And so that was segueing into the second question. As a professional, how do you leverage AI and sustainability in your business? And you spoke to that. Sue, could you start us off again with that question? How do you leverage AI and sustainability in your businesses? And if you want to add, please do.
For me, sustainability is key as a stylist who is constantly building wardrobes for folks, right? And we've all heard the term fast fashion. Not so sustainable. So I just want to share that nearly everything I'm wearing today is secondhand from consignment shops, which is where I try to drive a lot of my clients to, because you can look fabulous with something that maybe was never even worn by someone before. Someone bought this when they were traveling overseas, and they got excited as they're traveling, oh, I'm buying something in Italy, and they take it home and it has the tag on it, and they put it in their closet and say, what am I wearing this with? This doesn't go with my lifestyle here. I don't know what to do with it. And so they forward it on to a consignment shop where I go and gobble it up and know how to then bring it into my wardrobe or a client's wardrobe. So that to me is a great way to maintain sustainability in someone's wardrobe, as well as shopping in someone's closet. That's really the first thing that I do as a stylist, is I visit the person's closet, I learn more about that person through that closet story, and work to align it with who they are today. And yes, when things are coming out of that closet, we do then pay it forward, right? I'm not a person that says, well, that's going to go into a landfill. No, we're making sure that it has another life after the life it's lived in your closet.
Yes.
And if it has tags on it, even better. And a lot of the time that is the case. So those are some ways that I'm incorporating sustainability in my business. I'm really also a person who tends to want to visit a store in person, to have a tactile experience and to touch the garment and to learn the structure of this garment, how well it is made, how does it feel, and to also encourage my clients to do that versus an online experience all the time. Sure, there are moments where we're going to shop online, we know our product, we know we need to now have a duplicate of that or replace that item. So I do understand the online shopping, but all that goes into online shopping does impact our carbon footprint. And so I am, yes, incorporating online shopping, but structurally beginning with let's go shop in stores that are certified B corporations who are focused on sustainability in their products and their brands and their process and their production line as well. I think that's important to seek out companies that are looking at their supply chain and how they source their products. And also teaching my clients how to care for their garments.
Beautiful.
Right? And so if you're going to be washing garments, they don't have to go in hot water. Let's reduce that energy and wash it in cold tap water. I have that setting on my own washing machine. and not using a dryer, line drying. And so how we reuse and rewear our clothing, I think is another skill that we can incorporate into our sustainability when we are wearing our clothes and caring for our clothes. So those are just a few things. As far as AI and incorporating AI into my business, I definitely use a tool for creating a lookbook with my clients, an image board for them. And so AI is built into the back end of that. For example, Pinterest has AI built into it. So it learns what my client is searching for as they're looking for the great pair of jeans that they're incorporating into their wardrobe and what their sizing is, even, and pricing. And there's also invisible pricing out there in supply chains and how they are directing and guiding us through these invisible lines of pricing that incorporates where my budget lands, and so feeding me based on my own budget. So those are a few things that really, as you can tell from my enthusiasm on this topic, sustainability is right there at the top for me as a stylist and working with folks in their wardrobe.
Could you elaborate on invisible pricing a little bit?
So invisible pricing really is the back end for the retailer. So they have inventory management teams, right, working on what is selling, what is not selling, and so it helps them to narrow down their inventory overall. Okay. So that's really what that is speaking to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Did you want to join in that?
Yeah. I think it's cool how, Sue is working on like sustainability and fashion. We are working on sustainability and electronics, basically technology. So electronic waste is a huge issue. But with AI, what we're finding is the fact that we can integrate AI into products is actually helping to eliminate electronic waste, because you can now do more stuff with that same set of product. So when we first launched a couple years ago, our sort of thesis was, okay, these are headphones that you build into glasses, and you no longer have to wear two things, right? You don't have to buy headphones and you don't have to buy glasses, but you combine them into one. Then we started launching sort of new features like, so before ChatGPT was a thing, we integrated Alexa. And so this was like integrating your smart speaker into your glasses, so you can tap your glasses and be like, turn on the lights, or turn on the washing machine. So basically you can do all that through your glasses. But now that we have AI and ChatGPT and all these new generative AI tools out there, we're able to upgrade our hardware on the software side. So with that same hardware, you can now do more. So one feature we're launching this year is note-taking. So if you're in class and you're taking notes, writing a pen and stuff like that, you can actually do that with your glasses. So the glasses are listening into the conversation, taking notes, making summaries, and all that is possible now with AI because it's able to, listen to a 1-hour lecture and summarize that and help you highlight the key points. So now you even eliminate that need for, having a separate device for that. We're also working on a translation feature where the glasses can translate what it's hearing and translate it into your own language into your ears. So that eliminates the need for a translating pen and other devices. So recently I was clearing my storage, and I had these earphones and tablets and Palm computers from 20 years ago. There's all these electronic devices that you use and then you throw away. But if one device is able to do all that, then that really reduces a lot of waste, and that's really sustainable. And AI is able to make that integration just by doing it on the software side.
I mean, that is like
sci-fi
beyond my thought, okay, of what can actually come out of those glasses. I want to see those glasses in action.
Can I ask one thing? So I would just mention one thing that's really appealing from everything you just said. I know that your glasses, you also make sunglasses, right?
Yeah.
So if you're traveling in Europe or some other country where the language is not your first language, you can tap into your sunglasses as you're having an exchange in another language to learn that translation in real time, in the real moment.
Yeah.
What an advancement for sunglasses, everybody.
An advancement. Thank you so much for sharing. Did you want to add any more to that? Because you have said a lot about that.
I said a lot about it. I would say mostly it for me, when it comes to just because I am an artist, and you know, if you're a young person starting out, just say, I want to be an artist. I think unless you're already in a family and a community of artists, you're going to have pretty much the whole world being like, okay, so what do you want to do to make money? And those things aren't, mutually exclusive. Like, they can be the same thing, and I know they can because I make my living that way. So for me, when it comes to art, I like I said, I love AI. I think it really presents an opportunity for artists, and especially disenfranchised artists, because we can talk all day about, you know, well, you should hire this and you can hire that, but what if you are at an economic disadvantage, but you have a lot of talent? I think just applying some discipline and, you know, being persistent, I think you can use AI to be commercial. And I think you can do that on a budget, and you can do that with minimal resources, which I see is always the best recipe for really, really good art. So I definitely, when it comes to, I do train some artists. I live as an artist, and it is important for me to really project that when I'm teaching somebody or training someone in multimedia, this isn't a hobby that I'm teaching you how to do. I'm teaching you these skills so that you can go out and get a job, and you can do something, you can put food on your table, and you can grow as an artist, but you can grow your art and recognize, yeah, there's some things that you do just for expressing your voice, your experience. Love that, that's great, but there, you know, you also need to know how can you go out there and make it so that your art isn't just about you, that it provides a service to the world, that you can use that to, you know, be sustainable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you so much, all of you. I have been enjoying this conversation. We would like to thank you for your insight right now, and also, you know, go into a highlight of our broadcasting department and the students and teachers here that help make streams like this important. So we would like to shout out to our students here who have been working hard all semester to create graphics, editing clips, manage production, and put together several amazing live streams just like this one. So please enjoy this brief highlight reel that focuses on our annual fashion show collaboration between BEMA and the fashion department.
This is the BEMA department at CCSF. We work with video, sound, light, editing, and live streaming to make magic happen. These clips are of the students from BCST 141, the Intro to Field Video Production class. They worked together with City College fashion students and graphic design students to develop show elements for the final fashion presentations for the spring of 2023. In class and on set, teamwork is key. Being able to work together is an important life skill that needs to be practiced, and BEMA classes provide countless opportunities to exercise this.
What it looks like when we're not doing anything.
Working well in teams helps create a space where everyone feels more open to expressing their ideas. Feeling at ease with your team allows you to create fun, amazing projects with a variety of viewpoints and skills.
Feeling fantastic.
I'm feeling way better now that I have this coffee.
BEMA also teaches the importance of good communication and role dedication. Being able to describe desired shots to others while also giving room for creative ingenuity is critical for a successful production. But it's not just teamwork. Video and media production also combines both artistic skills and technical know-how. Students not only learn how to set up and operate various types of gear, but also how to use visual and auditory components creatively to tell a story. This involves coming up with choreography, camera movement, and lighting designs, as well as manning cameras and switchers to capture shots which can have its own challenges.
Are you excited too?
So excited.
What do you say?
I'm super excited. These are excited. Thank you.
Imagination, and then step back to that, and then it's for this guy. You know, so really take your time. The more the better, the longer the better. Yeah?
All right, ready, record. Record.
I think this is a really great way to practice our skills that we've been learning in class, and it's so cool to see it all happen in the real world.
There you go. Thanks, Marcel.
With all these skills in place, students exit BEMA with the ability to better succeed in university or enter the workforce as technicians, camera operators, directors, and more.
It's going to be a great show. I'm excited about it. We have a great team. The students are on board. They're smart and engaged, and they know what they're looking for, and it's going to be a great show.
That was some amazing work right there. And thanks again to everyone from BEMA for your hard work. Now, back to our panel. For your next question, please explain why you think traditional education is still important in the age of AI and sustainability. My bad.
All good. Honestly, I think our education system is the grassroots, right? This is our core. This is where we originate from. And I think there are many of us artists in this room and in this program and those watching. And those are basic skills to know as an artist. I was asked recently, actually by the CCSF photo department, what should we be teaching our students? Right, because we're changing, things are evolving, technology like it was in the Industrial Revolution. And so how do we keep educating our students? Do we need to get the latest and greatest cameras, etc.? And I said, teach them lighting. Teach them how to light a set. Teach them how to light people. This is basic. And you can have all the AI in the world, doing these things. And that is one thing that, I was thinking about during this conversation today actually is, yes, we can invest in AI and for AI to create the art for us. But for me as a creator, as an artist who paints, who as a graphic designer, who is in photography as well and a stylist, I feel that we lose a little bit of that authentic space and that authentic being when it's fully created using AI. And that's what I'm afraid is going to get lost. Yes, there'll be authenticity in the message and in the words and the writing, we hope. I know AI is such an easy to use tool and people are taking verbatim what AI is producing for them rather than adding their own flair and flavor to it. Are we going to lose flavor? Are we going to lose authenticity? So I think for folks who are moving forward in education, please continue to learn the basics in art. Pick up a pen, pick up a pencil, grab that piece of paper. Let's not brush away, literally, those tools that we need to access to train our eye so that when you do want to tap into AI, you know what to tell it. You know how to be the director, right? You know what to instigate. And that, I believe, is going to become a new career for people, is to be inputting the information into our AI and doing the feeding and the directing so that there is a different input. Like you were saying earlier, that the response that you got from your AI tool was like, that's not really, or your friend, that's really not the image I'm looking for. So we have to now learn new tools on how to train and direct AI. So really just get back to basics. Don't lose that. Empower yourselves and continue building those tools and that craft so that then when you are implementing and tapping into AI, you have the basics. That's my thought.
Yes, thank you. Please chime in.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because there was a recent stat about how 60% of jobs that exist today didn't exist 50 years ago. And that's pretty amazing, right? Because like something that you're doing right now, your grandparents could never have thought of back then. There's, you know, a lot of examples. We talked about social media, like, you know, influencers didn't exist the way they do now. Digital marketing is a new thing that didn't exist before the age of social media and all that. But now it's like you know, you can get a real job as a digital marketer. So a lot of things are evolving, and we have to learn how to evolve with it. But you know, marketing has always existed through centuries. It's just that how you do it has evolved.
Yeah.
A cartoon I saw, you know, a few years ago, even before AI was a thing, that I have a very deep impression of is, I think it's from the 1960s, where like two men are looking at a construction site where they're building a canal. And there's an excavator that's like digging that canal. And one guy says, if it wasn't for that excavator, we could have jobs for 20 men using shovels to shove that.
Right.
You know, that excavator is replacing 20 men's work. But this other guy says, well, if it wasn't for your shovels, we could have 200 men with teaspoons, you know, shoveling that canal. Then you'd provide even more jobs, right? So, you know, it's really interesting because it's like technology is always going to replace jobs and replace people. But you either, you know, you have to learn how to evolve with that. You have to learn how to use that shovel, or how to run that excavator, or you find another job as a, you know, construction manager or something, right? You build up other skills. It's always going to happen. Technology is always going to evolve. AI is going to come. It's going to replace a lot of jobs, but it's going to create new ones. So I think it's just, you just have to stay ahead of the curve and just keep learning.
Yes, keep learning. So, yes, Miko?
Education-wise, it's my passion. It's my heart. It's a real personal thing to me too. My great-grandmother, God bless her, she passed away in like 2018. I don't know how many siblings she had, but it was a bunch. But she was the only one who actually got to go to school because she was the only one that her father could afford to send. And so knowing that, and then also knowing he actually died before she could finish school, maybe like, not that long, maybe like a year or two. He died before she could finish school, and then after that, you know, she grew up in rural Louisiana, not a lot of like opportunities for dark-skinned Black women in that time. So she ended up getting pregnant. You know, she didn't become like a teacher or anything, which I think was probably her goal of what she wanted to do. But I would say that legacy has been passed down in my family. We are very, very into education, even though we haven't had a lot of, it's only more in the more recent generations that we've really been able to have access to it. And so just for that, I have that like deep passion, and like for education, I think it's cruel and unusual punishment to not educate someone. I think you can set someone up for life with a 6-week summer program on something. You never know. I've had students that I taught them something, and I'm like, oh yeah, you learned the song, it's whatever. I didn't think anything of it. It's a 15-minute lesson that we have. I get 10 years down the road, and their parents like, oh my God, he's in a band, he's applying for colleges, he's gonna have like a music degree, and I'm like, dude, I taught him 3 chords in 15 minutes, that's it. So I'm really into education. You can do so much with it. I know now, I think a lot of youth now, I guess it's a trend that people aren't going to college so much right after high school. I'd say I'd understand that more because of how expensive education has gotten, which I put that back in the category of like more to cruel and unusual punishment, because I'm like, you're just making it not accessible. Obviously this means something, so we have to make it harder for people to reach. So I'm still of the mindset that at some point, I think you should go to college. Like I said, you can totally become a millionaire without it. You can, but is that all that it's about? Just having money? It's about the knowledge, to know you know something. You can communicate your thoughts. You can connect with someone. You can just fall in love with a topic that does something for your life, and then you can offer something to the world. So I'm really, really, really about. I'm so about that when I was a kid, it was such my dream to go to college that I told people recently I bought that game, the Game of Life. Have anybody ever played that?
Yes.
When you play that game, you can always start. You can go just straight to work, or you can start on the side where you have to go to college first. And when I was a kid, I wouldn't play that game without starting on the college side first. I wouldn't do it. I'm like, no, because I'm going to college. I'm really super into that. I'm really into education. I've been a music teacher. After school programs, I'm really into. I think sometimes you can learn more in an after school program than you can learn all day. Yeah, I've just seen so many people. I've seen things like as I'm getting older, like learning certain things where I'm like, wow, I can't believe I didn't know this. Like, I would say that I'm not super knowledgeable about like finances and the economy, and I'm like, I wish I was more into that. I wish I'd been taught that more. When I was younger, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd have way more money. So, you know what I mean? I love now that, I think a few years ago, I saw they were doing summer programs with kids. They were teaching them about crypto, and I was like, yes, that's gonna be amazing. I think when it comes to AI, just like you said, they're gonna teach people just how to input stuff into that, and that's a lot. I know we were talking a minute ago, kind of like during the break, of that. Unfortunately, AI does kind of take away jobs, but it's going to create a lot of jobs too. It's sad that you're going to have older people who might not be able to transition as quickly. That doesn't mean that it can't happen. But just like you said, that's, we invented the excavator and then it took away shoveling jobs for people. Technology is always going to change things, but I think it also is going to open up a lot of opportunities for people to learn new skills, learn something, or they might just go, you know what, I'm just going to hang out with this little hobby that I do, and then somehow I'm going to start posting it on social media, and then that turns into a career. And I've heard that story over and over again. I think we just have to be more innovative, more creative, create more small businesses. That is the backbone of the American economy. I want to see more people doing that, so I always encourage people, go do your art. Go find, even if it's just like, oh, I only make $200 a month from doing this, just painting these little things. I take them to the flea market, I sell them. That's how much you make today. If you stick with this and you get better at it and you stick with the discipline, in 5 years, that's $2,000 a month. In 10 years, you're like $200K every year. Or it's so much. So I'm really into education, really encouraging people to get out there, learn something new, learn a trade, learn AI, learn how to work with it.
Wow, thank you for sharing those wonderful stories. That is something that will probably resonate with some of us, and we'll remember those things because keeping up with that legacy is so important. So I have one more question, and maybe I can start with you this time. Sure. How will AI help protect and generate economic growth, social equity, and environmental responsibility?
Ooh, I think it's going to go both ways. I know some people are really afraid of it. It's going to take away jobs. It's going to create jobs. I worked at a staging company once, and the lady there, she was this older woman, and I remember her telling me, she's just like, technology belongs to the youth. It belongs to the youth. So if you get to a certain age and you feel like, all right, this computer box is going too fast for me, what you need to do is go find you a young person who can do that, but also needs some guidance in life too, of all the other stuff that they can't figure out on their own.
That's right.
So I really like to embrace that idea. I think also when it comes to AI, what I would really want in my heart of hearts, I do want to see the tech industry hiring more BIPOC, and that stands for Black, Indigenous, People of Color, in that industry. I think that actually would be a really good step in the right direction, and not just like, oh, we've got one person out of 10. Like, no, you need like 5. We need diversity so that we can be more responsible in our AI, so that you aren't going there asking for certain images that I'm like, this is really stereotypical. You meant well, and God bless you for that, but that's the one thing I see. Again, more small businesses. I know I'm not sure exactly. I don't have a solution of how it can translate to climate change, but I definitely want to see how AI can help with that, because we need that. I definitely want to how I don't know, maybe you guys have some ideas on how we can make that better.
Maybe not with climate, but with AI, like I think it's actually creating equality because now you have access to a lot of things that previously you couldn't have access to. Like one example is I think there was a demo that just came out a few days ago with Khan Academy. Basically, it's like an online learning tool. But recently, they launched this AI feature where you can now have like an AI tutor. And in this example, I think the founder of Khan Academy was having AI teach his son trigonometry. And so, basically AI would say like, okay, like, can you point to me where the right angle is? Where's the isosceles triangle? Like, how do you measure the sine and cosine? And previously, this was something that, if you were bad at trigonometry, you'd probably have a tutor or take classes or something, and that costs a lot of money. That's not everyone can afford that. But now with an AI tutor, basically it comes free, right? Like there's the cost of the AI, but that's minimal compared to having a human tutor. So I think AI really helps with education and making that equal for everyone. I studied at the University of Pennsylvania. It was really expensive, and now it's even more expensive. But now with AI, you could have AI teaching you knowledge that even the professors might not necessarily know, because AI is able to integrate so much knowledge. You can ask AI any questions. You can ask, it'll give you answers. It'll teach you. It'll help you, and that actually makes education accessible for everyone. So everyone can get that same level of technology. So I think it's actually, creating equality for people. And because it's software, you don't need to pay. It's not like an electric car. You have to spend 50 grand on it. But with AI, as long as you have a phone or a computer or something that can access the internet, which is very affordable right now, then everyone can have access to AI. So that's actually making technology and knowledge accessible for everyone.
Wow, I love that you brought that up. Sue.
I'm just going to go back to what I said about the supply chains in retail, right, and fast fashion. And with these organizations tapping into and utilizing the power of AI to help reduce the supplies that people are not buying, right? So you can see certain brands will have a small amount of inventory in their stores, but then a massive amount of inventory online. And so through AI will help direct their inventory management to say, well, no one is buying this anymore, or you don't need that many sizes of this garment, so please don't make it and then let it go into a landfill. So I think that with that reduction in inventory alone will impact our sustainability programming and goals for the world. And I know that, the big corporations that we all know and tap into and utilize through our phone in our hand every day, these folks are on it. They are really utilizing AI and trying to reduce their carbon footprint in the world. We know that technology and backup systems use a lot of energy to process, and I think that they're really focused on what impact they can make to reduce that type of energy supply going out as well.
Wow, guys. Give it up for our panelists. Please, everyone, give it up for our panelists. Well, folks, that is our time. We thank you for joining us this afternoon. Thank you for our guests that came in. Thank you to our online audience. Thank you to those that brought this live stream production, our BEMA department, our fashion department, CCSF, fashion, broadcasting, electronic media arts departments, to be exact. I am your host, Elisha Rochelle, signing off. Have a great summer.